It's not going to be the same again. It's a different situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can understand. I dated a girl who to time me after we got engaged many years ago now. But for every girl I dated after that, it was so this is going to happen again now. This is going to happen again, even though there was no reason for it to. It was just because I'd had that trauma. I kept thinking it was going to happen all the time, And eventually, thank God, I got over that and I moved on from that. But
Yeah.
it just shows it happens, though. It happens. And the people out there far worse trauma than I went. That's not really nothing when you look back at it now in the big picture of things.
Yeah.
But there's people with far worse trauma who are going to just relive it every time because they think that's the way it's to be. That's the way their life is. And it's sad, but that's what happens, isn't it,
I went through something recently where I had a really bad cough. This was just after COVID. I just suffered with COVID, and I was getting over it, and I was left with this cough. So I was sitting in my chair in the living room, and the wife was sitting opposite me. And then all of a sudden I went, and I started coughing, and with this cough, air was expelling, and I couldn't draw any in. So I went like this, and then I just went out, completely out. And I come round, it seemed like the blink of an eye, but it must have been about 10 or 15 seconds I was out. I come round, and the wife is... I can laugh now. The wife's behind me, hitting me back. She thought I got something caught in my throat. She's going, lean forward. And I went, the hell are you doing to me? Get off. Because I didn't know what had happened. So what are you doing? Get off me. You're smashing the living daylights out of me back. I didn't realise I'd passed out.
Yeah.
But that, ever since then, if I got a cough, my wife goes, are you all right? And I'm going, don't bring the past forward. Leave it in the past.
Yeah.
So she's done exactly the same thing as you're saying.
I don't know. With me, I think there's certain things in your life that do make you who you are. You know what I mean? Like John, he had an experience with a woman, and most things that change boys into men are pretty much women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, for me, when a situation like that happens, that kind of molds you into the man that you're going to be, you know what I mean, and what you want for yourself. So, I mean, even in that aspect, it's a positive. You can turn a negative into a positive and learn from it. The big issue is that a lot of people don't do that. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't take the negative in their life and say, look, I need to learn from this and not do it again. You know, everything is a learning lesson. And it's just like I said, I seriously believe that life's a process. I mean, you go through processes, and if you're not willing to go through that process, then you're going to stumble. You're going to have stumbling blocks, basically, you know. And I'll be one of the first people to admit, you know, I've stubbed my toe quite a few times. You know, my life isn't even close to perfect, but I know now that everything that I went through was a learning lesson, and at any time I can take that hammer and put it down. I don't have to freaking keep beating myself in the head with it, you know what I mean? And that's what I have a tendency of doing, is whenever I freaking make a mistake, I like to beat myself in the head with a hammer, you know?
Yeah.
And at any time I can put that hammer down and freaking leave it alone, but I don't do it. I'm stubborn, you know, got to do it my way. So whenever I think of stuff like that, that's the one thing that really holds on to me. It's like, you know, you can always turn anything into something positive if you just have even half the effort to try to do it, you know, because life can suck if you let it.
Yeah, can.
You know, it really can. And when I was talking earlier about the Zoroastrianism, basically, you know, their philosophy is pretty tight, because they tell you have a choice which path do you want to go down. If I want to give in to those negative aspects of life, then I'm going to become that person. You know what I mean? But if I want to look at the positive aspects of life and I want to follow that path, I'll become that person. So it's my choice. There's no predestined freaking outcome. It's my choice every step of the way. So
Yeah.
I had a question of Jackie. It's a huge, well, it's like an essay, rest bless her, with the background to it. I can't read it all, it'd be too much to read, but I can give you the question, which I don't know if you guys can answer us. I've answered the best I could. I will put it, it's on the Discord anyway, her whole, everything she wrote down, but I can't read it all now. It's to do with her last marriage. Her ex is convinced he only had one lifetime. You reckon there's no afterlife, no gods, nothing. You live, you die, you're gone, that is it. And she says she's convinced she's an eternal being, and I will go home to my spirit after I die. But the question is, are there mortals, immortals, and eternal beings on this earth in human form?
I think we're all the same. We're all exactly the same.
Yeah, that's what I said to her. Yeah, that's what I
We're
thought.
all, if you go onto YouTube again, I love this fella, Bill Hicks. It's just a ride. Type that in and sit and watch what he says there. That is, he's put it so eloquently, it's untrue. And that's what I believe, exactly what he's saying. It's just a ride. You are sent, you are doing what you're doing to learn certain lessons. And when you've learnt the lessons that were set out before you turned up here, you're off, you're gone again.
Yeah.
And then if you haven't learnt what you're supposed to learn, they send you back, going through it all again, go and do it all again. And I'm now, after 17 years of research, I'm trying to correct all the negative aspects. And what Roger just said about you keep beating yourself up, this is me all over. I try to correct negative aspects of my personality to be a better person, because I don't want to come back here and do all this all over again. It's like a waste of time. So I want to move on. I want to see what else is going on.
with me, when it comes to what Jackie said, I stick to my roots in Alcoholics Anonymous, and they said it's simple. I keep it simple, stupid is what they say, KISS. And the thing of it is who am I? You know what I mean? Do I have a right to say that freaking God exists? Do I have a right to say he doesn't exist? Do I have a right do I have any power to freaking claim that I know there's a God or that I'm God? You know what I mean? I don't have freaking the power to control anybody even myself. So why would I make the statement that God exists or he doesn't? You know what I mean? Just keep it simple. Don't try to overcomplicate it. You know that freaking it works. If it works, keep doing it. If it doesn't work, don't do it. Stop doing it. You know, I try my best to stay away from the whole "does God exist" question, because usually whenever you get caught up in those kind of conversations, everybody wants to debate you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I try to avoid that, and the best thing I can say is if it works for you, keep doing it. You know what I mean? If you believe in God and that works for you, then keep doing it, because that means that freaking you believe in something and it's working, and that's the most important part of it. Just don't get complicated. It doesn't have to be that complicated, and that's my answer. That's literally my answer, John. I'm done. You're quiet.
Everyone need more to tell us, Roger. Come on.
No, I'm finished, man.
So, getting back to a question, what I want to know, are there mortals on this plane of existence? I would say no. I think everything is immortal.
Mm.
You know, we're all myself. Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean I'm wrong. Just my perception. Even down to animals, trees, everything. All born with, all got a spirit within them that will be moved on somewhere else when they deteriorate or die, whatever. That's just my perception. But I don't believe there's anything mortal on you. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Do you think there's anything mortal on this planet?
Well, what would you define mortal?
I suppose you could say like a house is mortal, isn't a sense in it, because it's like bricks and mortar, and that's going to eventually fall down. That is, I suppose, mortal. But as beings, as human beings and stuff, I'd say we're all immortal in a sense. Not a human being. When we die, but our spirit, our souls live on. I mean, our human form dies. Yes, that's mortal. Our human form is mortal, of course it is. But our souls are immortal in a sense. So I think everything, every animal, everything has all got a soul. So I would say, well, when obviously their forms die, then their mortal form dies, yes, but not their immortal form.
I mean, science even backs that up, though, because it says energy can't be created or destroyed. All right,
Yeah.
So whatever happens after death has to freaking continue once still created there. The thoughts you have in your brain, the consciousness that you have, that can't be destroyed. It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
That's science telling you that. Okay. So for me, I know that even scientists agree that freaking energy can't be created or destroyed. So something has to be done with it. So I mean, it's your decision on what you believe, but there's also little telltales too if you pay attention to it. Like I don't know. I mean, being honest, I don't know if freaking there's a life after death. But you know what? I really like happy endings. I love happy endings. I mean, I don't want to freaking die and all of a sudden nothing. You know what I mean? I mean, nobody wants that. So why would you even bring that up? You know what I mean? That's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, think about that. That's probably every human being's worst freaking nightmare. Is that?
It used to be mine. Years ago.
I mean,
Before I had a sort of awakening, I used to lie in bed every night, be terrified of dying.
I mean,
Not anymore.
Why would you even want to contemplate that? I couldn't even imagine atheists freaking honestly believing that, because that's terror. That really is terror, that there's nothing.
True.
There's a lot of research being done with children that are being able to describe an area that was there before they were born.